Hi, so I thought I'd share a few thoughts with you. Really, it's because it might look like what I'm doing at the moment is fairly random, as if I'm just emptying my head of thoughts onto YouTube. And I suppose, to a degree, that is what's happening. But it's not really that. There's lots of things going on, really, that are why I'm looking at the kind of stuff that I'm looking at. Now, I think I said in a previous video, every door you go through is a door into the universe. What I mean by that is there are an infinite number of connections between things that at first sight appear to be relatively random, and actually when you look deeper into it, there is a connection. So I've been fighting with that Twizy for absolutely months, and to be honest, I'm sick to death of both it and its BMS. I tried the GitHub thing, could not for the life of me get it to work. But I'm a stubborn SOB, and no doubt I will continue fighting with it until I get that thing to work, even if it includes tearing the whole thing to pieces with a great big hammer and replacing absolutely everything that I need to replace. But it did occur to me that actually it might be easier to tackle something simpler like my own bicycle or my own quadricycle. If I'm going to do that, to be honest, I just want something cool, and I love hubless wheels. But I don't just love them because they're cool, which they are, they're also a gear when you think about it. If we have a great big wheel that's 56 centimetres in diameter, or whatever that circumference is, and we put a toothed cog on that and then a tiny little cog on that, we don't need nearly as high power a motor. It just has to have a lot of revolutions, and if we match that to the big cog of the wheels that we're going to do, in fact we can drive that along. Now that's not just something I had, I've seen a few people actually doing that. I've seen a guy in the US have a 4-foot wheel that he drove at 25 miles an hour from an electric drill. I thought, that is awesome. So that inspired me to this idea that that hubless wheel could in fact be seen as a gear. We could put a small motor on it and drive an electric bicycle using that wheel as a gear. That's why I'm interested in hubless wheels. Because the next thing you think is, well, 2 bicycles or a quadricycle. And that's where I'm going with it. I'm thinking about building a quadricycle. And to build that quadricycle, I need to know more about hubless wheels. That's why the hubless wheel video. Now, I don't really believe that batteries are going to be the answer to electric vehicles. I mean, it would be lovely if they were. And I'm a battery guy, so that would be awesome. But I don't think it is. I think when you think about the infrastructure and the other requirements needed for electric vehicles, that's not in place. Particularly on the generation side of things, actually, which is why the generation is suddenly of so much interest to me, because I think the shortfall in electric vehicles is on generation. And if we can up generation at microgeneration level, or a combined onboard hydrogen generation with battery storage, I think that's the answer. So I think onboard or microgeneration combined with batteries are really going to be the solution. Batteries by themselves, I don't think they are, which is why I'm very interested in onboard generation, hydrogen on demand, and that kind of thing. So all of these things actually are linked, and they're kind of all working towards the same sort of goal. And they're linked because they're linked because they're linked. I believe that they're linked because of the philosophy they expound all of the time. That is, there is a constant connection between everybody and everything. I mean, we have a connection. It's not a blind connection either. I'm not just talking to the camera and then that goes up on YouTube and people vicariously watch it. That's not the kind of connection that happens here. I think we have rather a special channel, actually. The comment section, the support, the kind of ideas that people throw out there, they're all part of that connected world in which we actually live. And I'm not talking about the Internet of Things. That's not connection, that's just a thing. The world is connected in a far more global sense, in that what I do to damage my neighbour damages me. That sort of connection, where all living things share one existence and everything impacts on everything else. That's the kind of view that I have, and it's why it leads to what seems at sometimes to be disparate things that I might be interested in. Those things usually tie up together in one side of stuff for sure, although they might apparently seem disparate. It's actually quite rare for me to do something without a reason. If it looks like it hasn't got a reason, that's because the reason is maybe distant from what I'm happening to be working on at the time, but that it's usually a reason that I'm doing something. Anyway, just a few ideas really that were sparked off by the connections that I was making between electrolysis and capacitance, and I thought I would share those with you. I hope they were of interest, and thank you very much for watching.